Hello, friends. Hope you're having a wonderful Memorial Day. I'm coming to you with a quicker, disorganized, off-the-cuff video from what you all call my bathroom. You say that these tiles behind me look like bathroom tiles, so thank you. Anyways, I wanted to talk about this article from the New York Times that absolutely blew my mind. And I don't read the New York Times and have my mind blown very frequently, so when this opportunity comes to me, I've got to, of course, share the knowledge with you. So there's an article, a lengthy article by Shane Goldmacher about the Democratic Party being lost in the wilderness, trying to find out what to do going forward, how to win back voters. And the takeaway is that they're still struggling. The Democratic Party's own base isn't necessarily with them on a lot. They think that they're not fighting enough. They've lost ground with people of color, with people in rural areas, and just across the board, they're in a really bad place, and there's this struggle to figure out what to do to win people back. There's some tidbits here and there from members of Congress. There's Jason Crow who says, right now we're really struggling to have an identity. I'm paraphrasing what he said. We'll get to some specific quotes here. There's another from Alabama who says, it's that cultural stuff. The Democrats are just turning people off with their support for social justice. And there's even a paragraph where it talks about how the party is currently contemplating whether or not they lean more into right-wing politics, culturally speaking. They become more anti-immigrant and less pro-trans and whatnot, which is... The fact that this is even a consideration among some Democrats to me is wild, because if you take away the one thing that keeps people coming back to you and you basically become more indistinguishable from Republicans, then people won't even vote for you out of harm reduction. Like, if you're going to be a party that is winning based on being the lesser of two evils, then you actually do have to have some discernible difference between the two. Otherwise, if people think you're the same, they're going to stay home, and that's part of the problem. But that's not the part that blew my mind. The part that blew my mind was one paragraph in particular. I'm going to read the one before that because, wow, are they lost? And before we get to that, first and foremost, this article starts by talking about how they've conducted 250 focus groups to talk to voters to get them to compare the parties to animals. So, they compare Republicans to tigers and sharks, whereas they compare Democrats to sloths and deer in headlights. Okay, if you have to do these focus groups to try to compare the parties to animals, I can just tell you that you're lost. You don't have to do this. This is completely fucking meaningless. We don't need to know what animals voters think the parties are, okay? Leave that to the kindergartners. You have to do something more meaningful. But they're on that because, quote, "For now, Democratic donors and strategists have been gathering at luxury hotels to discuss how to win back working-class voters." I'm sure that gathering at luxury hotels is going to help. Commissioning new projects that can read like anthropological studies of people from faraway places. The prospectus for one new $20 million effort obtained by the Times aims to reverse the erosion of Democratic support among young men, especially online. It is codenamed SAM, short for Speaking with American Men, a strategic plan, and promises investment to study the syntax, language, and content that gains attention and virality in these spaces. It recommends buying advertisements in video games, among other things. Above all, we must shift from a moralizing tone, it urges. First, I'll just say, even though I could really use the $20 million, Democrats, I'm going to give you this advice free of charge. You're welcome. This is stupid and pointless. It's really not that complicated. You need to get better policies. That's it. Period. Like, if I see an advertisement for Democrats in Call of Duty, that's not going to sway me at all. If anything, people are going to clown on it because it looks out of touch and it looks like you're pandering. And if the goal is to not come off as moralizing or pandering, then trying to hello fellow kids, men, isn't necessarily going to win them back. And the fact that you have to do all of this and spend $20 million fucking dollars that could be used on get out the vote efforts kind of shows what the problem is. Get better motherfucking policies. How many times do I have to say this? I think they know this, but they can't get better policies because they don't want to do too much, because the donors are the ones that keeps the gravy train rolling. So if they come out with a bold policy proposal that young men would support, as well as other people like Medicare for all, then the health insurance industry donors would be pretty pissed off about that. But if they genuinely want to win elections again, all this dumb bullshit is completely unnecessary. Get better policies. It's not that complicated. This isn't rocket science. People just want to be able to survive. Young men and young women aren't able to live lives like their parents once had. They can't buy homes. They can't buy cars. They're strapped down with student debt. What about that do you not understand? Fix that and you will win again. Period. Republicans very clearly aren't going to fix that. They are passing the one big beautiful bill to give tax cuts to the rich at the expense of working class people. Fix that. Give them policies, deliver, and you win them back. You don't have to figure out a way to talk to them in code or through memes. Do better. Pass policies that help them. Fuck. Why can't they get this? They get it. I don't want to say, I don't want to pretend like they're ignorant. Some of them are. After some of these quotes that I read, some of them are genuinely stupid, but it's not that complicated. If you become the party of Medicare for all, I would automatically change my opinion of the Democratic Party. If all Democrats got on board and they said, we are going to be the party of healthcare for everyone, not another American is going to die because they don't have health insurance, you're done paying thousands of dollars every single year to your health insurance company that rips you off, and we're going to fix that. We're going to get rid of that private tax. We're going to charge you a little bit more in taxes, but you're going to have so much more money. Maybe you get a raise because your employer is no longer having to pay for your healthcare. If they did that, so many people would support Democrats. If they said, hey, we're going to legalize marijuana in all 50 states, and they beat the drum on that, so many more people would support Democrats. If they said, listen, we're sorry for arming and funding Netanyahu as he did a genocide of Palestinians in Gaza, we fucked up there. We shouldn't have defended Biden. We shouldn't have voted to send those weapons to Israel that they dropped on the heads of children. We're going to stop doing that. You will win people back. If you cancel our student debt, you will win people back. If you make it so we can actually buy homes, perhaps repeal the Faircloth Amendment, start doing public housing, investing in that specifically, you will win people back. You don't have to talk to us better. You have to get better policies. It's that simple. Okay? You could talk until you're blue in the fucking face with however much code words you have, or whatever these focus groups tell you, but at the end of the day, if people's material well-being is not met by this party and they keep feeling disappointed election after election, you will not win people back. The only time you will win is when people once again are reminded of how disastrous Republicans are and they come running back to you with open arms, okay? But until you shift the power in the party so that way workers and regular people are your priority and not donors and corporate interests, then you're not going to have a long-term winning strategy. You'll just win because you're not Republicans after people are fed up with Republicans. The only reason why they win is because people are fed up with Democrats because they're disappointed that we don't get hope and change or Biden doesn't do Build Back Better. Like, if you deliver, you win. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. This is like politics 101. Deliver for people. Like, I feel like I'm fucking going crazy. It's not that hard. Just fucking do it. Okay? You don't have to talk to these dumbass dickhead strategists. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Fire every single consultant and just stop being so dense. Stop being purposefully obtuse. Just watch like one YouTube video from one of the fucking podcast bros like myself, not on the right, but people like myself, where we just talk about policy. We just want fucking policy. Goddamn, it's not. I just want to shake them. Shut the fuck up and stop doing all this useless bullshit and just give people motherfucking policies. You can't just promise things to you. You got to deliver. But they don't want to do that. They can't do that because the entire party apparatus functions to serve the wealthy. So if they start actually doing what working class people need, then they piss off their donors and the gravy train is up. So that's their dilemma. Really, it's not a question of like, figuring out how to talk to people. It's whether or not they actually want to be brave enough to tell their donors to fuck off and start doing the bidding of their voters. If they do that, they'll win. It's that simple. They don't have to overcomplicate it, okay? They don't have to focus group test new catchy phrases. They just have to deliver on the policy. That's it.
Up yours. Up yours. Up yours.
Sons of bitches.
Woke moralist. Woke moralist.
I dreamed I saw my maternal grandmother. She was stroking herself absent-mindedly. I let her have her way. Her genital region was exposed. I let her have her way.